Today is, in fact, Palm Sunday, but we also celebrate the life of Pope St. Martin I. He suffered exile and humiliation for his defense of orthodoxy in a dispute over the relationship between Christ's human and divine natures. He was born in Tuscany, in Italy, during either the late 6th or early 7th century. He became a deacon and served in Rome, where he acquired a reputation for education and holiness. Pope Theodore I chose Martin as his representative to the emperor in Constantinople during a period of theological controversy between the imperial capital and the Roman Church. The dispute in which Martin became involved, first as the papal nuncio and later as Pope himself, was over Christ's human nature. Although the Church had always acknowledged the eternal Son of God as becoming man within history, some Eastern bishops continued to insist that Christ's human nature was not entirely like that of other human beings. During the 7th century, authorities within the Byzantine Church and Empire promoted a version of this heresy known as monothelitism. This teaching acknowledged that Christ had two natures, human and divine, but only one will, the divine. Pope Theodore condemned the teaching and excommunicated Patriarch Pyrrhus of Constantinople for holding it. Martin inherited this controversy when he succeeded Theodore as pope. At the Lateran Council of 649, he followed his predecessor's lead in condemning Pyrrhus' successor, Patriarch Paul II, who accepted Emperor Constans II's decision to forbid all discussion of whether or not Christ had both a human and a divine will. Pope Martin condemned monothelitism completely and denounced those who held it. He insisted that the teaching which denied Christ's human will could not be glossed over as an irrelevant point. To refuse to acknowledge Christ's distinct divine and human wills, he believed, was to deny the biblical teaching that Christ was like humanity in everything other than sin. The Byzantine emperor retaliated against Pope Martin by sending his own representative to Italy during the council with orders either to arrest the pope or have him killed. A henchman of the emperor, who attempted to assassinate the pope while he was distributing Holy Communion, later testified that he suddenly lost his insight and could not carry out the death sentence. Eventually, he was brought back to Constantinople as a prisoner and sentenced to death. The Pope appointed executioners, stripped him of his clothes, and led him through the city, before locking him in a prison with a group of murderers. He was beaten so severely that he appeared to be on the verge of death. At the last moment, however, both the Patriarch of Constantinople and the Emperor agreed that the pontiff should not be executed. Instead, he was kept in prison before being banished again to an island that was suffering from a severe famine. Pope Martin wrote to a friend that he was not only separated from the rest of the world, but even deprived of the means to live. Although the Pope died in exile in 655, his relics were later brought back to Rome. The Third Ecumenical Council of Constantinople eventually vindicated Pope St. Martin by confirming in 681 that Christ had both a divine and a human will. St. Martin I, Pope, Martyr.